What's up, everybody? Welcome to Quantum Ascent. I have Verasity, VRA, up on the screen. Getting some green today. Let's go across the board. Last time we checked in on VRA over here on June 12th, said, guys, the worst of it behind us, wave 3 is loading. In that video, I said, guys, I expect us to, this was actually, where are we at? Oh, right here. I said we were building support here. I said, guys, typically in this structure, this thing breaks down. I'm going to look for it to break down and find support at the bottom of this medium second wave. That's when we were up there. So at that point in time, had you listened, would have saved you at least 20% to get down there, okay? Ended up dropping even further, down about 30%. So we knew the direction. It's just, with that stuff, especially a few weeks ahead of time, hard to predict. Bottom of wave 2 is there, but we talked about the crashing pattern in that video, how that was 6, and we looked like we were going to come take that out for a 7. So that happened. Let's go. Looking good. Now what we got to do is readjust this guy right here, because it looks like as of right now, the bottom of the second wave was yesterday. And so we did not set a new low. All good. So earlier today in Spaces, I was talking about opportunities for swing trades. This is not financial advice by any means, but this would be a great opportunity to look for on this second wave, getting close to a double bottom, because what you could do right now, especially now that we got off up the floor, is you could long it and then set a stop loss below that low there. So if that gets taken out, all right, we lost the trade, but you're not getting taken out of downside. There's way more upside right now in VRA than there is downside. So this would be a perfect opportunity for a swing. But again, I'm not doing that. Just telling you guys what you'd be looking for. If we try to connect a bunch of these wicks, right, it's pretty generalization. This one's a little bit more biased than if we just connected the outermost. But you got that to that. We get those two. We get that guy, this, and you can see we're kind of channeling, right? And you can tell that even on the downside. Oops. On the downside here. Bitch. There we go. On the downside here, take this guy. We're doing something similar, right? You can see that we're kind of building a channel here. So it wants to pop out right now as we speak. If we bring in some of these other oscillators, it's been, technically positive momentum, but look at how flat that is, right? And we've been at this bottom, just pretty flat. And so are we about to have that moment across the board in markets where these things start to take off? It certainly looks like it for VRA right now, right? And again, there's some room for error. You can have some overthrow, but let's see if we get some volume come in. This thing too, still in bear territory for VRA. Since we had that massive drop back here, like look, when we drop below the 60 there, which goes from bullish to like neutral bullish and then all the way down into bearish once we break below 40. But from the time we broke below the 60, yeah, we had already had a pretty big whack, but we're still below it. So that point in time was right here. 60% you would have saved. We still haven't popped out. So once we get above this 40, you're going to be a little bit more neutral bearish. Once we get above 60, we're bull again. And then on the MACD, we need to see some big green bars start coming in. That's when we get that acceleration in price movement. So I think we're on the precipice of it, guys. We're right there. It's looking good for VRA. It's looking good for the markets. I know this was crazy back here, especially with that wick, but it does look like things have settled down. I don't believe there's any narratives or anything too shady that went on. I could be mistaken, but I've talked about it in videos in the past. Perfectly normal to come back down to this low on the second wave. So let's see what the third wave brings, but I have a feeling it's going to be a lot of these big green candles. So we are on the verge. If you guys could do me a favor, if you could follow, like, repost. Been doing TA a long time, and I just want to help as many of you guys as I can. I released an ebook a couple weeks ago on building the perfect crypto portfolio. You can check that out, the link in my Twitter bio or in the description of the YouTube video. Thank you guys for tuning in. I got a few more rolling out today, so I will check in with you then.